Grizzly Hall of Fame podcast where we celebrate athletes who have contributed to the legacy of our school. I'm Jameson, your host.
And I'm Jackson, your co-host. Today, we have the one and only Danny Bradbury. Thanks for joining us, Coach Bradbury.
Thanks for having me.
All right. To get things rolling, Coach Bradbury, can you tell us what it was like to play on both a state football and state basketball team during your time as a high schooler?
Well, it was kind of a dream come true, but also a culmination of the work that we put into it. It was just a blast. It was all that work came into one. Got to go out with my brothers and play on the court and on the field. It was just it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
And knowing we could win every single game we could play. We ended up not winning the whole thing, but knowing that we had a chance in every game we did play, it was fun.
I like that. Before the state champ in 2018, what was going through your mind?
Well, we want to go out and win. Colville's tough. Their team is stacked. They had 5 or 6 Division I athletes. Their quarterback was a stud. We beat them the year before, so we knew there was bad blood. They ended up beating us early in the year as well, so we knew that was a tough game going into it. But really, in the grand scheme of things, they kind of just they kicked our butt. But going into it, we still knew, okay, we can win this. But they handed us our 2 losses that year. So,
Going to the state championship is definitely not something to sleep on. With that being said, after your high school journey came to an end, where did you see yourself going after that? Did you have any hopes in going to college? If you made it to college, hopes to go to a professional league? What happened there?
I knew I wasn't professional material, but I knew I was playing college ball. Freshman, sophomore year, I was focused on basketball. I had a couple small college offers for basketball my sophomore year, but after our success my junior and senior year in football, I focused on that. I remember after the championship game, we're all crying. It's all over. Gave my dad a hug, and I was like, all right, I'm not done playing. So immediately started figuring out where I was going to land for football, and ended up being Montana Western. And I will never regret that decision. So,
Well, now that we have some insight to Coach Bradbury's journey, let's take a look at our highlight film.
oh.
All right, welcome back. Now, after watching that film, seeing what Mr. Bradbury was all about, what was the most memorable game that you had in your athletic career? Big game, tough loss. What opened your eyes?
Got 2 of them. Beating Zilla, junior year and senior year. I remember junior year walking out in Zilla, just a cow pasture, smells awful. We're warming up, and they just look like Goliaths over there. Went out as a captain, took their hands. Their senior, who actually I ended up playing in college, he was already bald, had full arm tats, just jacked. And I was like, what are we getting ourselves into here?
Oh, my goodness.
Their running back was 270 pounds, just a bowling ball. It was something, but we toughed it out. We beat them. I could get the numbers wrong, but I believe it was 14-12 the first time, or was it 7-6? No, 14-12 or something the first time we played them. And then my senior year, we beat them 7-6. The only reason is because they couldn't kick a PAT. And defense. So those are the 2 toughest, grittiest games that I really look back on. And those are my favorite. State championship is cool, but when you lose like that,
Yeah.
it's tough.
What was the toughest challenge you faced as a high school athlete?
That's a good question. I can talk on and on about being a collegiate athlete, but a high school athlete, I think it's staying the course, and that goes all the way through your career. Is once we knew that, okay, we're good, and we can go win games. It's continuing to work. I really did have an amazing high school experience, not only with my friends but in sports. So there wasn't really much of a challenge when it comes to that and being a competitor. But I think at times we had to really put in extra work to not get stagnant and keep pushing to get better, even though we couldn't get cocky or arrogant. We had to keep pushing. So
I like that.
We had Mr. Nichols on for our first episode of the podcast, and
Okay.
he mentioned
Yeah.
one of his toughest kind of breakthroughs was COVID and not being able to lift as a team and stuff like that. He mentioned that you and him would go out and make makeshift bars with coolers and whatnot. What was that like?
shoot, we didn't even have all makeshift bars. We had I tried to get a group of guys out. We'd go to the baseball field. I had an old 1971 International Scout. I'd throw old rusted barbells and weights in there, and we'd go pack it outside, and we'd be doing as much lifts as we can, inviting anybody out there. It was almost more of like a CrossFit, not fully CrossFit, but we're doing some squats, lunges, power cleans. Can't really do bench out there on the grass.
Yeah.
And then we'd go play some like softball, go play some Philly football, just get out there, have some fun when everyone else was mostly stuck inside. So
Awesome.
it was
Sounds
it was so
great,
much
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I know I'd love to be out there. Quarantine for me, 5th grade, wasn't very exciting.
Yeah.
Were there any injuries or setbacks that challenged your commitment?
I remained pretty healthy throughout my high school career. Biggest one, sophomore summer going into my junior year, I wasn't able to play my first junior football game against Priest River because I was playing travel basketball at practice, fast break, went up for a layup, and I stepped on someone's foot with my left ankle, and you hear a big pop, and a lot of people thought it was broken, something happened, but it was a severe sprain, so I was out for a few weeks there, but recovered, made it to the second game. So, but I'm still upset that I missed a game there.
Yeah.
So,
How did playing sports prepare you for life after high school?
everywhere, teamwork, accountability, commitment. If I didn't learn how to commit every day to my team, to myself, to become better, I wouldn't have been able to have the success I had on the court or on the field. And I'm still developing success off the court in my career. And teamwork is so important. Not only communicating with your fellow players, but with your coaches, which is going to happen with your bosses, with your coworkers one day. That helps me a lot. And the biggest thing, I know you should get him in here. One of my best friends, Tug Smith, his thing is you just got to compete. Life's a competition. I live by this too. Is if you stop competing, you're just going to lose. And you don't want to lose because you're always going to be competing in life. So I think the biggest thing that sports taught me is compete. So
What advice would you give to students like me who are trying to balance being multi-sport athletes?
do all the sports. Play as many sports as you can. While you're in high school, small school, commit to that sport the best you can. Even if you're going to go play Division I football or Division I basketball, go play the sports. That's actually going to help you develop as an overall athlete with whatever sport you're going to focus on. And to balance each sport, when you're in a certain season, for the most part, focus on that. Even like I played tennis my senior year with Tug, and it was a blast. We sat there and we played tennis, but we were still lifting and doing what we can to make sure we could be successful in our future on the field. But whatever sport you commit yourself to, you need to commit to it. Give what you can towards it, and you won't regret it.
All right. What does being a Grizzly mean to you now, looking back?
I'm incredibly proud of where I came from. Being a Grizz is something I I almost brag about it because I had such an amazing experience. It's such an amazing community, a school district. We have just amazing people in this school district, and when I was, you know, a student, an athlete going through, it was I didn't really notice how much support I had, how much support we had, and now that I get to come back into this community, that's all I want to do is support and give back to athletes and students, because I want them to have the experience I did. So being a Grizz means a lot. It's also, you get out what you put into it. So, and there was a lot of effort and love put into me from the community and coaches, and now it's, you got to share it. So yeah.
So you talked about how you compete in everything you do, and that was something sports taught you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you probably learned from sports that you still use today?
Compete. You got to compete. I would say a big thing for me that I had to use is be patient. Be patient and also have confidence. When I made it to the collegiate level, the thing that set me back, that I talked to many of you guys today that I'm open about, is I lacked confidence. And I didn't have patience in myself to have confidence. And that made it so my first 2 years of college, it was the only 2 years that I regret, that I don't think I became the best athlete that I could have been, best person I could have been. So I think sports taught me a life lesson through mistakes that I made too. You don't have to be arrogant, but be confident in your abilities and the preparation that you put in. I think that's might be the biggest lesson that I was taught there. So,
all right. Wisdom from the Mr. Bradbury. Thank you for coming out and showing us what it means to be a Grizzly on our Grizzly Hall of Fame podcast.
Thanks for having me. That was kind of caught me off guard with some of those questions, but I enjoyed it. So,
to all our listeners, keep chasing your goals and carrying the Grizzly spirit wherever life takes you.
This has been the Grizzly Hall of Fame podcast. Until next time, stay strong, stay proud, and go Grizzlies.